Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode 86 of the podcast, and if you're joining us today for the very first time, we'll bid you welcome. If you're coming back for a repeat visit, we say, hey, thanks for checking back in with us. And to all those involved, we will extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and a hearty handshake. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for supporting. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. That's right, man. Episode 86. Couldn't get my words out there. It's been a little less than a month since the last time we hung out. A lot of things have changed in that month. But before we get into all that, welcome to the show. Glad you are with us. I am the aforementioned Tom Clark, as you know, one of the creative forces behind Boink Studios. You can find everything you need to know about myself and about what we do here at boinkstudios.com. Please go check us out. We do appreciate your business as always. So let's go ahead and get into this. If my voice sounds a little irritated, it's because all of a sudden, the new Japan app is buffering. There it is again. Jeez Louise. I mean, it's okay. It's not like it's the end of the world. I've already seen this entire show. But, you know, I like to watch stuff in replays. You know what we should do is just turn on the WWE Network. I mean, you're not going to know about it, right? But, you know, I'll have it on. And so I'll have something to watch. How about that? So as I attempt to navigate the desk here without making too awful much noise, too much noise, period. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Sorry. But yeah, we're going to try to do this. So what's up, guys? How have you been? How was your weekend? How's everything going, man? Things are going okay in the House of Tom. As I said before, there's been a lot of changes in the life of yours truly since the last time we hung out. There has been a very good reason why we've not done a podcast in this little period of time. So let's go ahead and address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. I have received around 15 emails from various different readers. Actually, can I be honest with you? It's hang on. It's actually on my laptop in front of me. 18 emails from 18 different people who have followed my stuff on Bleacher Report and who I know online and this, that, and the other. And there's been a lot of questions. Hey, Tom, where are you, pal? You taking a vacation? What's going on? So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. Why not just get it out in the open? My tenure with Bleacher Report, unfortunately, has come to an end. If I told you that I saw it coming, I would that would not be a true statement. It wasn't anything. There's no big secret behind it. I'm not keeping anything from you guys. It's not a work. Okay. It just, the website's moving in a different direction. It's sort of a rough time for pro wrestling writers right now. And let me tell you why. Because the influx of social media in terms of, Twitter and Facebook both has really, really affected the way we do business as contributors, as featured columnists. And it's It's been, I've seen it coming. If I told you I didn't see it coming, that would be an untrue statement, for sure. I believe Yahoo Sports went through the same thing. I was on the verge of getting everything up and running to write for Yahoo Sports, and at the 0 hour, I get this email saying we're no longer going to do this. Sorry. So yeah, I moved on. I was like, you know what? No harm, no foul. I did not think the same thing was going to happen with Bleacher. But you know what? It's in the past now, and we're moving on. I will say this about the website. I met a lot of great writers on that site, and the experience I gained in 7 years on BR is invaluable to me. My time spent there is it was a growing experience, a maturing experience for me. I go back, and I went back before in recent years and read like my first 1 to 2 columns. And man, it's night and day. It's night and day between then and now. I feel like I found my voice on Bleacher Report, and I have them to thank for that. I worked with some really fine editors in the 7 years I was there, and I was one of the longest tenured writers, I believe, in terms of the WWE page. I can't speak for the rest of the site, but I know there was just me and a handful of other guys who had been there that long. If you can hear in my voice, it's still kind of fresh for me. As I said, I didn't see it coming in terms of, hey, Tom, no warning, pal, bye. But you know what? That is the life of an independent contractor. I have often made the comparisons between myself and guys in WWE, pro wrestlers in general, and I never say that with any amount of disrespect in my voice. Because as you guys know, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the guys and gals who get in the ring and ply their craft. They put their lives on the line. I can't sit here behind this laptop and say that I do the same thing, because I don't. But I have drawn parallels before in some instances in terms of just how we operate. Independent contractor goes where there's work and where he can be best utilized and where his gifts can be put to the betterment of that company. And hopefully he leaves that company a little bit better than he did when he got there. And that's where I'm at right now. And I don't know if they'll miss me, but I'll miss them, if that makes any sense. But as I said, it's a growing experience for me. I did not take it personal. I'm a grown man, dude. I don't do that stuff. And business is business, and I can respect that. The fact that my editor went out of his way to assure me that I did nothing wrong, because let me just tell you something right now. If you do screw up in the business that I'm in, brother, no one has a problem letting you know, okay? And trust me, I've been in positions before where I'm told, hey, Tom, you suck, pal. I'm not going to tell you who said that, because I'm not going to give any other website free publicity. But let's just say I've written for a couple of stinkers in my time. And I was glad to move on from those sites because, well, they were a complete waste of my effort because it wasn't appreciated. I never got that vibe from Bleacher Report. I felt like my work was appreciated. They gave me a tremendous platform. Were it not for Bleacher Report, I couldn't have made the connections that I made with Boink Studios backing me up. I would never have done the interviews I was able to do. Randy Orton, The Big Show, Charlie Ebersol. Can you hear the chimes in the background? I have the window open in the studio, man, because it is insanely hot. I'm not going to complain. You want to know why? Because I hate winter, and I just want winter to be over. 2018 has not started off the best for me. I got this news, the first week of February, and it was hard to swallow, man. I'm not going to lie to you. So, but as I said, it's no hard feelings. I didn't take anything personal. I will not make it personal because there's no point in that. It's silly to do that anyway. I did learn a lot while I was there. I appreciated the effort. And as I said, it opened doors for me to do other things. And you know what? The old saying, I had a good friend of mine recently say, when one door closes, another one opens, to which I immediately said, I hate that, and I hate you for saying it. But It's true. I hope it's true, right? Let me just tell you this. I have no intentions of stop writing. I'm not going to stop writing. It's not going to happen. This is what I'm supposed to do. I believe this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be talking to you folks. We're supposed to be talking about wrestling with each other. And I'm supposed to be writing. That's what I believe that's what I'm put here for. And I say that with a straight face. And anyone in my line of work will tell you that the ultimate goal is to replace your income and to sit behind a desk and do this for a living. And I've never met a writer who says, I'm just doing this for the fun of it. To me, it is a lot like pro wrestling in a lot of more ways, and I'm not going to get into right now. But pro wrestling is addictive. If any of you out there listening have ever been in the business, even for just 10 minutes, for a cup of coffee, dude, it's hard to get out of your system. I spent a couple of years in full time, and when the full time part stopped, I was like, dude, what do I do now? Like, where do I go? I'm like, I can't stop now. This is awesome, because I just had so much fun. And you see the veterans come back after, they're way, way past their prime, and you look at that and you say, oh, well, whatever. But it's just because you love it so much. I love this too much to stop, and I get too much support. And instead of answering all those emails one by one, I figured this was the best way to do it. As I said, I'm not finished. I've got some things in the works right now. A couple of things I can't really talk about right now. One's coming up very soon. I'm going to try to stay busy. That's what I'm going to do here, because, when you get pushed a step back, don't take it as being pushed a step back. Take it as you now have an opportunity to take a step forward. And that's what I'm going to do. And this wacky motivational speech brought to you by Boink Studios. I hate that crap. You know what I mean? Inspirational memes. Never give up. You can do it. Never give up. I hate that garbage, but here I am spouting that crap off anyway. But I'm not trying to be negative, folks. Do you understand? So, enough about me. I like talking about myself. You have to have some amount of ego to do what we do here. You have to have some amount of ego to put your face and name on a great big, 500-word column and invite, beg, and ask people to read and please give feedback. It's not an easy thing, I'm going to tell you right now. Having said that, we're not curing cancer, right? This is supposed to be fun. That's what this is all about. And anytime, and I don't care what line of work you're in, unless you are curing cancer. If so, kudos to you. But in any line of work, with very few exceptions, it's not life and death, okay? Especially with what I do. And, this is supposed to be fun. And I had a lot of fun on Bleacher, and I'm going to have a lot of fun in the future. I'm having fun now. It's just a transition period. And there's good things to come, I'm telling you. See, the chimes are an omen, I'm telling you. Hopefully they're not. I'm going to try to remove them. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but let's just say it's part of the show this time. Speaking of the show, let's get to it, shall we? Episode 86, here we come. This time the main event is Braun Strowman and other WWE stuff. And I know what you're thinking. Jesus, Tom, the word stuff once again creeps into your vernacular. Yeah, I really can't give it up. I got to be honest with you. So that's who I am. That's what I do. Let's talk about Braun. I've written 2 columns in the past 2 weeks about Braun, and both of them have been very cautionary. They weren't critical. They weren't overly critical. Not of him, obviously, but a little critical of the company, I guess you could say. But very cautionary in terms of WWE starting to... They are starting to turn the corner with Braun. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean by that. They're starting to turn the corner because, see, it's hard to get this into words. They're starting to turn the corner with Braun because they have made the decision, the conscious decision. Okay, it's time to start fleshing this guy out. And here's the issue when you have, me big and strong Hulk smash kind of thing that they've done with Braun since the day he got there. It's fun. Okay? That's why he's over. And you're looking at me and you're saying, well, dude, if he's over, then why mess with it? I get you. But at the same time, as much as it's gotten him over, you cannot continue to do it forever. Okay? When you're reading a book, if the character that you're reading about, unless he's just so endearing you can't stand it, if it's a 400-page book and on page 1 to page 395, the dude's exactly the same, I mean, the trials and tribulations of your life are going to affect your personality. They're going to affect your dialogue. They're going to affect your speech pattern. They're going to affect your thought process. They're going to affect everything. And you will either become better or worse. You could say the same, but you're still going to have some sort of change to your life, no matter what you go through. I can sit here and say that's definitely happened for me, and I don't know if anyone that I've ever met that it hasn't happened for as well. So, again, you real people, honest to God people, outside of the squared circle, have ups and downs. They have personality, whether it's good or bad. Whether it's stale or exciting or whatever that case may be, people change. People have more to them than just one thing, for the most part. Do you see what I'm saying? At some point, Braun Strowman had to be something else, not just the Hulk smash. And again, backtrack for a second. That's what got him over, because for the first time, I would say, maybe since Brock initially, for the first time since him, you had a guy who was Hulk smash, Brock smash. What's the difference, really? Hulk smash, right? But he could back it up. And he wasn't, one of the knocks against Big Show, and I got mad respect for Big Show, but I always call it like I see it, I believe. One of the big drawbacks to Big Show over the years has been the dude just stands there. Now, I'm not saying he can't work. I've never said that. He's one of the best working big men I've ever seen. And he got so much better over time. It took him a long time to get to that point, in my opinion. But he really did improve by leaps and bounds, okay? But I'm going to be honest with you here. When people look at him, they don't think pro wrestler. They think the big guy, the mountain of a man, right? That's what they see, the giant. There's a difference, okay? You can't put Big Show next to Finn Balor. You can't put him next to Miz. You can't put him next to Daniel Bryan. It's not the same thing. People don't look at Finn Balor and say, oh, he's a monster. No, he's a pro wrestler. That's not fair in a lot of regards, but you can see where it's coming from, right? So, Kane's very good in the ring. Kane's always been very good in the ring. A veteran, talent. Could do things a guy his size should never be able to do, but he did it, and he still does in times. But there again, he's the big man. Let me say this. Maybe not since The Undertaker have fans seen someone like Braun Strowman. And now, Braun's no Undertaker. He's not to that point yet. He's working on it. And I think he'll get there eventually, okay? But he's not there yet. And I think we all know that. But here's my thing with Braun. He can back it up. As I said before, he can do everything that he says he can do and then some. And he doesn't stand in one place and let his opponents come to him. He goes after them. He's quick. He's agile. He's nimble. For a guy his size, my God, right? People respond to that. They pop off that for real. And fans watch him and they're like, dude, I love this guy. I'm supposed to hate him. But, we all know how the heel babyface dynamic works in pro wrestling. It's not what it used to be. It never will be the same again for reasons that we've talked about here on the show and I've talked about, written about ad nauseum, okay? But fans pop off that. They pop for him, and they should, because he's worked his way up. By the way, Braun Strowman's a North Carolina boy, so you have to respect that, because I sure do. I'm just saying, man. Something to be said about us Carolina boys. We're not all bad, trust me. We're not all racist down here. There's a lot of racists down here, but it's not all of us, okay? Not all of us, trust me. So, I mean, people have, as my chair creaks, I have yet to start the GoFundMe page to buy the new chair. I'm going to do that. That's going to be a major goal of mine, is to raise like, I don't know, $100 or something. Would you guys donate to buy Tom a new chair? God, how pathetic is that, man? If I were to do that, I'd probably laughed off the internet. But like, what'd you find on the internet today? Well, some morons trying to raise money to buy a chair. Dude, that might go viral. Let's check that out. Let's do that. Maybe I get money off that. How about that? Where the heck was I? Oh yes, Braun Strowman. But yeah, as I said, North Carolina boy, gotta respect that. Now, he's gotten over. Okay, as we said, it's worked. It's worked in a lot of regards. But you cannot continue to do what you're doing. At some point, he has to be fleshed out. At some point, Brock Lesnar had to turn babyface. He just had to. He was over, man. As a heel, he was impressive. As a heel, it was, oh my God, look at this guy. And then after a while, that reaction just became so overpowering that people were like, I love Brock Lesnar now. So they had to remember when they turned him babyface? And I remember saying at the time, when they first turned Brock Lesnar babyface, I remember saying at the time, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for Brock now, because now Brock will have to start selling. Right? Because until that point, he was the heel, strongman, monster, the next big thing, all that stuff. They weren't calling the Beast Incarnate then. And I said, but now he's babyface. He has to start selling. He has to get heat in the match. And that's what happened. I mean, he had to be against the right guy, obviously, but he would get in trouble during matches. And if you look at me and you say, Tom, well, that's not going to happen to Braun Strowman. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because he's turning face. He's practically face now. I mean, the moment he starts touching heels, you know it. I mean, he worked Brock enough now that I think it's safe to say that, yes, Braun Strowman's a babyface now. He's going to sell. Okay? He's going to have to. And it might be because of a screw job, a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, a 20-on-1, whatever. But he's going to start selling. That's how it rolls. That's how he has to. He just don't have a choice. He just doesn't have a choice at all. So, again, from a character perspective, you can't leave him where he was. Okay? God, this chair creaks. My apologies. But, yeah, dude, you can't leave him where he was. Now, the immediate question that is posed right off the bat is this. Okay, Tom, so you want to flesh him out. You want to give him more personality. So what do you do? Well, it's not a matter of what I would do. Okay. It's a matter of what WWE would do. And WWE has one fail-safe, what they consider to be a fail-safe move. It's their go-to move. Not just for big men, but for cruiserweights, for, middle of the road, for tag teams, for the women, for anybody at this point. I'm going to be honest with you. Probably forever now. One word. Comedy. That's it. Comedy, my friends. That's what WWE's go-to move is comedy. That's what they do. When all else fails, and sometimes they lead off with it because they're like, let's just make him a comedian. Like Santina Marella, right? But that's the go-to move, and that's what they do. They roll with comedy, and that's what they've done with Braun. It is a curse for the big men. It's a major curse for the big men in that company. Here's why. It's a major curse because the company spends X amount of months, possibly even years, doing everything in its power to convince you that this guy, this big man, this 7-foot, 300-plus pound monster of a man is indestructible. He's invincible. He's heartless. He's merciless. He just wants your blood. And he wants to take that blood. He'll smear it on his chest like Brock Lesnar. And he'll laugh at your pain like Kane. And he'll do everything in his power to humiliate you. And he'll crush you like Big Show. And he will devour your soul like Undertaker and all this other stuff. And then out of the blue, what are they going to do? They put a smile on his face and say, oh, but he's funny too. That's what's happened with Braun Strowman. It came from the Mixed Match Challenge, which I wasn't against. I'm still not against it. I think it's been fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. They go out of bounds in terms of what the rest of the WWE programming is doing. But let's just be honest, as we said before, kayfabe is dead in the water. Kayfabe has been dead in the water for a very, very long time. There is no more kayfabe, and you know that. It's dead in the ground. Undertaker buried that thing, man. He's forced to, he didn't have a choice. But with kayfabe being dead, Mixed Match Challenge can exist in the world of WWE, and that's just how it is. And you can get mad about it. You can get upset over it. It's fine. Whatever you want to do is fine, but there's no point grieving over it. I still grieve over it. I can't imagine. I mean, I can't lie. Jeez, I can't lie. I hate it. It is what it is. Anyway, the moment that Braun Strowman started making goo-goo eyes at Alexa Bliss, I said, uh-oh. I think I even said it out loud. I was watching it by myself. Because I have no friends. That's just a joke. Don't feel too bad for me. I'm doing good. So, I watched it, and out loud, I think I said, uh-oh, here we go. And I was right. Because since that moment, Braun Strowman is getting some personality. And it's frightening. It's frightening. It's the best word I have for it. It's frightening because they've done all this work. Now, I know what you're saying, Tom. This is WWE. This is how they roll. You just said yourself, Tom, you were on a soapbox talking about how a guy, a character in a book has to have personality. And I get it. I understand. But here's my issue. It's okay to flesh out a personality. It's okay to do other things. But the problem with comedy is not everyone can do it. Not everyone can do it. You have to have an aptitude for it. You have to have a knack for it. If you do not have an aptitude for comedy, then guess what happens? You're going to blow it. And comedy, more than anything else, is going, or it can potentially ruin you. And, they did this with Ryback. Do you remember? They started giving Ryback just a little bit of comedy with Tom's creaky chair. I can't stop going back to that. Sorry. But they did this with Ryback. They started making him funny. And he would get that stupid smile on his face. And remember Paul Heyman kissed him on the cheek that time. And he went, whatever. And they started saying, you know what? Let's flesh him out, dude. Let's give him some personality. It didn't work. Now, I know what you're saying. Braun Strowman is by far a much more qualified or much more capable performer in the ring and on the mic than Ryback ever was. I'll give you that. But Ryback had the fire. He wanted it. He just couldn't make it work. So maybe that may not be the best comparison, but I'm going to put it to you this way. If his booking had been on point, the comedy would have been fine. I'm not saying that it's not partly his fault, because it is. At the same time, however, I think they tried it too soon, and maybe they shouldn't have tried it at all with him. They should have known his limitations. I mean, the guy had been in the locker room for how long, had been on the mic for how long, had been working with all these other guys, all these creative people around him all the time, and no one could see it. Like, people knew Big Show's sense of humor from day one, and because he's undeniable, he's a force of nature. His personality, it's force of personality is what Big Show has. He's so charming, he's so funny, he's so witty, he's so humble, he's so endearing. When I did his interview, he made me feel so at home. He just was so accommodating and so friendly and just down to earth. And they're like, you know what? That should be who he is. He should be allowed to have fun. So remember the first time you saw Big Show cosplay as Hulk Hogan coming down the ramp and you said, oh my God, what are they doing? And he was Fat Bastard and he was other characters and suddenly he's doing impressions and he's trying to make people laugh. And fans could have looked at that and said, oh my God. And some did, I'm sure. But it worked out. Why? Because Big Show could pull it off. Now, I have no doubt that Braun Strowman can pull this off. He proved he can. Absolutely proved he can pull it off. But I'm very fearful of this, and I've written about this a couple of times now. And I may continue to write about it. I'm fearful of this because Braun Strowman is capable of so much. He's not going to be the top guy. That's Roman Reigns. But he can be a top guy. And my problem with it now is, if he's babyface, what heel is he going to work? That's a tough one. There's, in terms of very, very strong heels on Raw right now, The Miz, The Bar, Brock, I guess, if he's still classified as a heel. Yeah. Is that it? Dude, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, maybe I'm overlooking someone here. If I am, my apologies. But, that's fear number one, is that who's he going to work now? Fear number two is that the comedy will take over. And before you say to me, Tom, that's not going to happen. Dude, you trust WWE to get this right? You trust WWE to take a guy who is so athletically gifted and so naturally talented and has such a great psychology for the business already, to be as young as he is and to be as new in the company as he is and in the industry as he is. You believe they can't ruin that? You believe they can't just screw that up from start to finish? You're crazy. Of course they can. They've done it before. They've done it before, man. Don't tell me they can't, because I know they can't. And that's scary because, again, he's come a long way. And in a very, very short amount of time, man. For real. And he's done a lot of good. And it's worked. Everything he's done has worked pretty much. And in the slapstick knee-slapping reality or little world that Vince McMahon has created in WWE, it would be silly for Braun Strowman not to have some catchy one-liners and, get a crush on Alexa Bliss and play a cello like a guitar and then smash it. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's scary. It worries me. Okay, because I think the comedy could potentially take over. The comedy could potentially become too much, and before you know it, it's all they're doing with him. I don't want to see that happen. I think that he's better than that. I know he's better than that. And I think he can do so much more. Now, remember what we said at the beginning of the show when I said that this was supposed to be fun? I'm not trying to be a drag. I get it. This is pro wrestling. This is a bunch of, grown men, grown sweaty men with their shirts off, wrestling each other, laying on top of each other, trying to make you believe they're trying to kill each other. This is a comic book. That's what this is. Pro wrestling is a comic book. Always has been, always will be. People talk about soap opera. It's like a male soap opera, Tom. It's a male soap opera. Shut up, and shut up again. I hate that nonsense. I'll hate it till I'm dead. I'll hate it from the grave, my friends. Okay? Pro wrestling is a comic book. It's good versus evil, right versus wrong. The high road versus the low road. The easy way out versus the hard way in. That's what it is. Always will be. Always has been, always will be. Comic books are supposed to be fun. You can put violence in there. You can put a little bit of sex if you want to. You can put some blood and gore if you want. Whatever. But the story has to be solid, and the good guy has got to win at some point. That's morale. That's the morality tale. That's who we are as a people. We have to see that. That's what pro wrestling is to me. And always will be. But more importantly than all that, it has to be fun. You have to get some fulfillment out of it. Okay? This is not Walking Dead, where each and every week there's less and less hope, which is why I gave up on the show 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. I just got tired of it. No hope. There's no hope in that show. Every week ends worse than the week before. These people are doomed to die, every single one of them. Good people are killed needlessly in front of you. I mean, it's nonsense. There's no fun from that for me at all. There's just not. Pro wrestling is supposed to be fun. So why can't Braun Strowman have some fun? He can. It's fine. So don't take this so seriously, Tom. I get it. Believe me, I get it. And I've struggled with that. I struggle with it constantly, the breaking of the kayfabe and stuff like that. Tom, get over yourself, pal. Just let it go. I try so hard. But it's hard for me. I can't lie. It's so hard for me. If anyone in the company, in terms of where he is right now, in terms of the potential that he has for the future, if anyone can make this work, it's Strowman. However, he has to have the full support of the company. And let's not forget, he's never been down this road before. This is his first time down this road. It might be shaky, might be a bit treacherous, but this is one of those times where he's going to have to, sink his teeth into it and make the absolute best of it, man. He has to. He has to get in there and he has to, suck the life out of this. Do everything he possibly can to make this work. And just live the character and just have complete fun with it. So far, it's fine. But it could backfire. The New Day are living proof of that. The New Day have walked that line, and they're all comedy. The New Day's all comedy. They're not ferocious. They're not serious. They're not legit in terms of, oh, hey, we're here to win. No, they're having fun. But it's a line between good comedy and bad comedy. Bad comedy is like bad sushi. You know what I mean? Once you have a taste, you never want it again. It's like, oh God, it ruins good sushi for you. And then when you do have good sushi again, you're reminded of how good sushi is. Or it can be. And were it not for the bad sushi, you would never realize how bad it can be. So to me, that's the difference in comedy here. And it's something that WWE doesn't always do right. And that worries me as well. But as I said, if there's anyone in that company that can do this and take full advantage of it and have a blast with it, then yeah, I believe it's going to be Strowman. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm not going to discount him or the company or anything like that. I'm interested to see what they do with him. I like the ha-has kept to a minimum. And I'm a funny guy, I think, and I enjoy humor when it's used in the right place. But humor in pro wrestling is a lot like hardcore. There's a time and place for it, and it's sparse. Hardcore is more sparse than humor for me. It's okay to have some life and to be lighthearted, but there's a moment and a time and a place for it. It can't be all the time. Because if it is, then you enjoy your own. You're a joke wrestler. That's what you are. Sorry. Sorry, all you Ryan fans out there. You can turn my show off anytime you want to. Sorry. That's how I feel. It's life. But I don't like joke wrestling. I'm not with it. Not hip to it. Don't care about it. Never did. Never will. So let's move on from Braun. Let's talk a little bit about the guy that recently has been having some issues with Braun. How about Elias? Your boy Elias. Shout out to Sarah Hirsch right now, by the way, who's a major fan of Elias. And as you know, here on the show, we don't use the word mark. Mark is a bad word for me because mark means nothing. It's a bad word because it's a stupid word because it means nothing. There's grown men in the business right now with their own podcasts who used to be in WWE who still use the word mark. And I am stunned to my core of that because they're using it as an insult. They say it tongue in cheek, but they're trying to be a jerk about it. And I get it. I get it. None of us are as smart as you are because you're in WWE. Congratulations. You're no longer in WWE, but that's not the point. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. But to sit back and to call people mark, I don't do that. But shout out to Sarah Hirsch. She's a fan and also she's a fellow writer. And we talk about Elias. Elias's name comes up, and man, she's a fan of Elias for sure. And I've had this discussion with her, and I'm like, you know what? I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think he's missing something. People talk about, oh, well, he's got this, he's got that. I don't know what he's got. I don't know. You know what I mean? I know he looks stiff in the ring. And maybe that's the way I'm seeing it. Maybe it's nonsense. I don't know. But to me, he looks stiff. And on top of that, I don't know if I see it. I don't think it helps that he physically looks like Seth Rollins. I think Elias could do with a shave. I'm not playing. Down to a goatee or maybe even just a mustache or something. He could pull it off. I don't know. And maybe I'm splitting hairs. Maybe that's what I'm doing. But I don't know if I see it. I have to see more. I have to see more of what he's capable of. I need to see him against other people than just John. I have to see him against other veterans and other new era stars. I have to see him and see how he carries himself and see how he reacts. See if he can really pull this off. Because I'm not convinced. I heard him on Edge and Christian's latest podcast. I like the interview. I like the show. But something in his interview told me, honestly, that he believes he's farther along than he really is. And if that's just his confidence, his self-confidence talking, that's great. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it because I often do that. I'll be honest with you, I do. So maybe that's just me doing that. But I'll be honest with you. Again, I just don't know if I see it. I'm not going to dismiss him because I've dismissed guys before and have been wrong. I kind of look at Elias as I did Heath Ledger, where I said, they got Heath Ledger to play the Joker. Well, he's the flavor of the month. I dismissed him. I'm not going to lie. No sense in working you, right? I immediately believed he was the flavor of the month. This terrible idea. Horrible, horrendous, dude, horrendous idea. I ate my words. He was fantastic. We all know that. Elias has not had his Dark Knight yet. Get it? He hasn't had his Dark Knight moment. If he does have one, we'll see if he rises to the occasion and see what happens. Here's a potential issue I see as the chimes back me up. It's like I got a singing group behind me, like a backup group, right? I'm the dude out front. They're doing the dance in unison, the choreographed dancing and singing. It's like the Temptations, man, I'm telling you. Here's the issue I see from Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, as a matter of fact. As the veterans have cycled through, as the veterans are moving on. My biggest fear for the new era, guys, and let's just be honest, Owens and Zayn are veterans, Styles is a veteran, Seth is a veteran, Dean is a veteran. It's not like these guys, just started 5 years ago. They didn't. They've been around for a while, okay? But in terms of what WWE is billing as the new era, one of my biggest fears is that as the veterans have begun to cycle through, and a lot of instances have cycled out, who's going to be there to lead the way for the new era guys and to help them along and teach them the ropes? Who's going to be there? I mean, Undertaker is done. And if Undertaker's not done, Undertaker should be done. I'm going to go on the record right now. I got mad respect for Undertaker that he should be done. Because in my opinion, unless the last match is against Sting, he needs to be done. And here's why I say that to you. Because for as much hate and vitriol as Roman Reigns is forced to consume on a daily basis, or ignore, whatever the case may be, the fact of the matter is, that was done for a reason, folks. Taker put him over for a reason, because he is the guy now. He's the dog. The big dog. And that's how it is. And for Taker to put him over the way he did, that should be the end of it. That's it. Taker, go home. That's not directed to him. Don't take it that way. What I mean to say is it would be time to go home after that. There's nothing left, because it's just, you got to move on. Because you have established this is the guy. Imagine if Shawn Michaels ever came back for a match. Now, would it negate the fact that The Undertaker retired him in the ring? No. But ask Shawn if it would. You see what I'm saying? For Shawn, it was the perfect ending to a Hall of Fame career. That's what it was, man. Why would you want to come back after that? For Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, if Undertaker comes back after putting over Roman Reigns, then what would be the point of that? For real. There's no point in that at all. because he's already put him over. What more could he do now unless it's Sting? And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how much hair Sting has lost. I don't care how old he is. I don't care about any of that crap. I would pay twice ticket value right now to see Undertaker versus Sting live, just to be in the moment, just to say I was there. It's like watching, Michael Jordan face off against Wilt Chamberlain. It's just to be able to say. I'm not talking about in their primes. I'm talking about the aged veterans, whatever you want to say. Just to be able to say that you saw it happen, that you were there. Like, oh my God, I saw it. Dude, I would pay for that match. I mean, everybody would, man. They can say what they want. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But people would pay to see that. So unless Taker's last match officially on the planet is Sting, he's got no business coming back right now. How'd I get off on this? Oh my God, back on task here, Tom. Don't lose your place, pal. But rewind just for a second here, folks. Back to Elias. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see it, and and again, if there's no veterans on board to help the new era guys get back on track, then I fear for the new era guys, because what fans will see are the new era talents working each other, and that's great because that's the current crop of talents in WWE. But the new era guys are not facing veteran guys that can put them over, give them the rub, elevate them beyond their station. They don't have that. That's the problem. And you don't want to job out the veterans that are there now. How many times you want to job out Dean? You're not going to job out Roman all that much. You're not going to job out Seth all that much. AJ for sure. No to Nakamura. You want these guys to be your top guys. You don't job them out. So if they're not going to, then go down to the next level of guys that are veterans who maybe are not on top, like Miz. Even though Miz he probably should be on the top right now. In many ways, I guess he is, right? Robert Roode is another one. He's a veteran. They've got a nice mix going right now. But I'm talking about in terms of what they perceive to be the old guard and the new crop of talent coming up. In my opinion, I think there's going to be issues there. Let's touch on a few other things here real quick. Elimination Chamber is coming up and going to be interesting to see how they handle it. Some people have said it's going to be like a 6 or 7-man Elimination Chamber match, maybe with Seth in there and everything. Here's what I know. I know that Finn Balor is something's up with Finn Balor. And I don't have any inside information. I don't think he's hurt. If he's hurt, I've not heard it. I've not read it. I have no sources telling me he's hurt. I got sources, but I have no sources telling me he's hurt. Far from it, that he's in good shape. He's fine. But here's what I have for you. Finn Balor, for whatever reason, is not on top. And a lot of people have a lot of problem with that, yours truly included. And I've written about this, and you can find it, by the way, my latest piece on Finn is on boinkstudios.com. And in that piece, I discuss about how, fans believe he should be much higher than what he is. I believe he should be much higher than what he is. However, he's not. And that the entire, Balor Club thing, the reunion with Gallows and Anderson is great, and it's fun, it's whatever. But to be honest with you, maybe it's not working like we all thought it would. From February 5th, WWE's Finn Balor, Reality versus Expectations. I wrote a similar column to that on Camel Clutch several months ago, man. But it's a topic that keeps coming up for me because I just keep looking at that saying, dude, what is going on with this guy? And I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know what they're going to do with him. And I don't know if he even thinks there's a problem. He's trolled the crowd on Twitter. He's trolled the audience, talking about, he's not getting pushed and stuff. Okay, tongue-in-cheek, haha moment for a fan in WWE, I get it. But I think the bigger point's being missed here. And the bigger point is that fans want to see him on top. They want to see him as Universal Champion. Not because they were told he should be, but because they want him there. He's so good, man. He's one of those guys that has a mix of everything. And he's one of those guys you want on your team. Because he can do anything you ask him to do. He can work a heavyweight style or cruiserweight style. He can go dark and mystic or demonic with the demon gimmick. He can be funny and smile. He can do all kinds of things. That's the guy you want on your roster for sure. And I would love to see that guy on top. I just, for the life of me, I don't understand what the deal is with that. Maybe one day we'll know. And as I said in that column that you need to go read, by the way, shameless plug, thank you very much. Maybe there's something on the horizon that we just don't know about. We're not privy to it. We just don't know, man. We just don't know. Who knows? So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the answer, that there's something going on that we just don't freaking know about, man. If that's the case, so be it. Go with God. I hope so. I hope that there's something else there. But until we know for sure, we don't know anything for sure, right? And we just know that Finn Balor's kind of just treading water with Balor Club. And right now he doesn't have a primo WrestleMania spot, and hopefully that changes. Will he and The Miz hook up? Who knows? We'll see what happens. By the way, I'm getting ready to watch the Usos versus Gable and Benjamin from the Royal Rumble. And meanwhile, on the iPod, it's Takahashi doing his thing. And I like Takahashi. People give him crap about the cat. I don't really care. But, yeah, man, I real quick, I don't want to, I said this was in WWE stuff. Of course, it's my show. I can do whatever I want, okay? Sorry, pulled rank on you there. My apologies. But, no, man, I'm just going to touch real briefly on New Japan right now. I believe that Takahashi, New Japan guys, and as Takahashi, Will Ospreay's trying to get back to his feet right now, by the way. New Japan continues to be one of those companies that I watch with a very, very focused eye, because I love watching New Japan, because it's, people talk about, well, WWE has no competition. I get it. I understand what you're saying. I totally get it. New Japan's in Japan. They have the partnership with Ring of Honor. If New Japan and Ring of Honor were to ever merge, just imagine that. New Japan's money coming over here, running big shows. They could, just call it Ring of Honor, whatever. Call it something else, whatever you want to call it. Can you imagine the impact they would have? But to my knowledge, it's a friendly competition. If anyone even calls it competition, it's a friendly participation. How about that? The New Japan people and the Ring of Honor people. You very rarely hear anything negative coming out of either one of those companies about anybody in WWE or about WWE itself, and you shouldn't. There's no point in it. No point in firing bullets at a company that's, I was going to say bulletproof. They're not bulletproof. No point in firing bullets at a company that's dodged a lot of bullets and taken a lot of bullets and recovered from them. See what I mean by that? So, I don't know, man. I watch New Japan with a razor sharp focus, because they have such potential to become the world's best pro wrestling company, internationally for sure. But they still, and I'll give this to them. In recent shows that I watched on the New Japan app, the New Japan World app, by the way, it's worth it. It's under $10 a month. For real, with tax, under $10, just saying. Check it out. You can quit anytime you want to. Yada, yada, bang, bang. Hey, it's fun. I don't know why I did all that. But the ha-has have been kept to a bare minimum. And I believe that someone in that company, whether it's the talent or it's the bookers or it's the guy, whoever it is, I think someone in that company has realized, you know what? I think maybe it's time we tone down the ha-ha. Comedy needs to take a break for a bit. Doesn't mean it has to go away full time, but it does mean it has to morph. It has to change into something else. It has to do something different, which is what it's doing. And I'm all for it. I think it should be changed, because I think it's too much at times. And I think it's the one thing that could hurt that company in the long run. I don't want to see it happen, because I want to see them thrive. I want to see WWE succeed. I want to see Ring of Honor succeed. I want to see Impact Wrestling against all odds for 10 plus years now. I want to see them succeed. Same for Lucha Underground. Same for any pro wrestling company that's out there. You want to know why? Well, let me put it this way. Any pro wrestling company out there that offers a viable alternative and a good product where guys can work and maybe make a little bit of money. That's what I support. I don't support the blood and guts. I don't support comedy wrestling. Either one of them. They're all nonsense to me, just saying. But, no, man. you need to want these companies to thrive. To not only succeed, but to thrive. Because if you don't, you're not really a pro wrestling fan. That's just how I feel. I mean, you shouldn't want to see any company go under. If you love the business, then you love the business. It's like saying that, you're a Patriots fan, but you hate the NFL. Of course, I don't know. If you are a Patriots fan, maybe you do hate the NFL. You think they're out to get you. I don't know. Just throwing it out there to you. But it's like saying, I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, but I hate the NBA. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, you need to be a fan, not just a fan of these guys. You need to be a fan of the business itself, in general. You want to see it succeed. A place where these men and women can continue to apply their craft in the future and to earn a living and to do what they do best. And that's to entertain you and put on some of the best matches the business has ever seen. That's what you should want. Kurt Angle, in the middle of the ring, his supposed son, he addressed the elephant in the room because the crowd cheered when he said Jason Jordan was having surgery. And he spoke up and said, look, if you laugh, and this paraphrasing, by the way, if you laugh at a superstar's injury, if you think that's funny, then you should be ashamed of yourselves. He's right. They booed him for that because people are stupid. You see what I mean? They never should have booed him for the Jason Jordan thing. That's ridiculous, man. At the end of the day, these people are people, and they're just living their dreams. It's something that a lot of us are trying to do, for real. Don't laugh at that. Don't mock that. Don't ridicule that. You may not like the guy. Who cares? You hated Rocky at one time, didn't you? Didn't you say, die, Rocky, die? I didn't. I didn't really care for him. I didn't say, die, Rocky, die, God's sake. Just saying. But no, man, it just, again, if you're a real pro wrestling fan, honest to God, true to your heart pro wrestling fan, business first, business last, you want to continue to see the business do well. And you want to see it thrive in the future. So these guys and gals will have a place to work. That's the most important part. Whew, I'm tired. It's late. I'm not going to keep any longer, man. As you know, we usually keep the shows here to around an hour, which is what I've done. We didn't talk about a whole lot of stuff today, but we're going to have more stuff coming up in future episodes. Got some cool stuff planned for you coming up soon. Some interviews on the docket. Not going to tell you who. It's a surprise. So, as I said at the intro of the show, if I didn't say this in so many words, let me say it again. Or if I didn't say it, I'll say it for the first time. There you go. Thank you for your support. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for the emails, the comments, the great things you guys have said to me. It makes me feel good. I can't tell you enough. Can't tell you enough how much it means to me that you guys are in there with us, and I really do appreciate all the great comments, and the attaboys and all that other stuff has just been phenomenal. So thank you so much for that. Like I said, we're going to keep pushing forward, man. Never going to stop. Never going to stop. Rob Zombie said it best when he said, never going to stop. We end on a laugh. How you like that? That's it, man. That's all I got for you. We're taking it home. We're getting out of here. I'm going to go get some sleep. You need to go get some coffee. Maybe I'll go get some coffee anyway. I don't have any idea. That's it for us. Thanks for listening, man. We appreciate your business as always. Remember, boinkstudios.com. Check out the site for updates on yours truly. You can check us out on YouTube and Facebook at Boink Studios. You can follow me at Twitter, by the way. New Twitter handle, Tom Clark Writes. WRITES. Tom Clark Writes at Tom Clark Writes on Twitter. So go check me out. Thank you, man. Thank all of you. I really do appreciate it. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.